Hey guys, welcome back to another playthrough video in the Empire of the Sun game. Um, we're gonna play the first card today. Isn't that great? We're going to actually get around to playing it. So we set this game up, which is a 1942 campaign game. Yeah, I said campaign, not scenario game. And let's go over the parameters of this game that we set up in the first video real quick. So the Japanese, they got their 7 cards. The Allies got their 5 cards and did elect to receive as one of those 5 cards the Arcadia Conference card. Okay, so they've got that in their back pocket. And then we set everything up. I didn't check on the first video, but all the strategic everything off to the left here, the strategic record chart, the amphibious points and all that, everything's in order. And so anyways, the Japanese decided that out of their 7 cards, the first card to play is the one that you see up on your screen. I did find out that the cards themselves show up on the screen. The Patrick Hurley card is what they're going to play today. That ought to be interesting, and this is going to be an offensive card, not an event card. And probably the most important thing that you need to learn concept that I'm gonna throw out to you folks today is the difference between event cards and offensive cards. All right. Um, and the difference is this: when you have an event card, you're basically you're playing the card as an event as it's written down, and a and you get to run as many operations, as many attacks as you can. Okay, when you have an operations card, which I have now, I was calling offensives, but it's an operations card. I'm playing this as an operation, okay, which basically means that I get to run one attack. Okay, I can attack one hex. Okay, and that is very different from an event card where you can attack whoever the hell you want as long as you have the forces to do so. So today that attack is going to be, as I move the card over, those are the A attacks. We're going to be attacking Manila. Okay, and so in the Manila is going to be the target of the attack, and and I have to activate a Japanese headquarters, and that's going to be combined fleet up here in the mainland. So we're going to activate combined fleet. As you see, they have a nice white and red 3 on the unit, and combined with the 3 that's on the Patrick Hurley card, I can activate 6 units, okay, that are within 13 hexes of combined fleet up here, close to right next to Osaka. So 13 units. I've already thought about what I want to do. I want to activate these 3 down in Mindanao and Davao, the southern Philippines. I'm going to activate, actually, there's 4 units here. I'm going to activate all the naval units. The 2 carriers and I believe that may be a cruiser. I don't know what it is. It's a CA. I think that may be cruiser. So those 3 naval units we're going to activate. We're going to activate both of these units right here: an air unit and a combat unit, kind of a Japanese army unit. And then we're going to activate up here in Taiwan. There's a naval unit again, and it looks like another cruiser up in Taiwan. So there's your 6 units that we're going to activate. I'm gonna pull out a chart from the actual game. I'm looking for some. I'm looking for some terrain information. I've got so much information in this box. Charts, anything that is terrain. No. Okay. Well, anyways, as I get myself situated. So that is going to be the attack. And what the Allies need to do right now is they're going to roll for intelligence. Okay. Now, the question I actually had to get a question answered before I could conduct this operation today concerning Allied reaction cards. And the Allies are going to play a reaction card. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull that a reaction card out right now. It's an attack reaction card. Um, okay, I'm clicking on the wrong thing. They're actually going to play this skip bombing attack card, which is a reaction card. So my question was today, I needed to ask these the powers that be, the peanut gallery. I said, hey, if they play an attack reaction card, do the Allies still need to roll for intelligence? And apparently the answer is yes. Okay, so we're going to roll for intelligence right now, but I want to throw up some air, ZOI, zone of influence, for both the Japanese and the Allies right here. So, and what happens is when the Allies roll for intelligence, okay, there's one possible modifier that can be had, and that's if the assaulting Japanese force moves through Allied and Allied ZOI, whether it's neutralized or unneutralized, it doesn't even matter. And basically, the rationale behind that is, hey, the Allies, with their air coverage, they see the assaulting force coming. Okay, I get that. So let's move the Japanese, before we do anything with the Allies, let's move the Japanese force. So here they go. The two carriers. The two carriers can move 3 sets of 5, okay? But they're not going to need to do that. They're going to come out of Davao. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy, it's a cruiser. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, you will notice that at this point, based on the American air unit that is right there in Manila Corregidor, okay, and their 2 hex range, they have now spotted the Japanese assault force. Okay, they've now spotted it, so the upcoming die roll is going to have a -2 to the Allied die roll, okay, from this point forward. So the rest of the force is this army unit is moving 1 hex, should be 2 points down here. Okay, and then this cruiser that's over here gets to go 3 sets of 5, but they won't need it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what you have here, let's review. You have 3 units that were activated in Davao, southern Philippines. 2 carriers that moved 1, 2, 3, 4. They moved 4, so they're 2 hexes away from Manila. Okay, you had 2 cruisers, one from Davao, one from Taiwan that moved into Manila Harbor, and then you had an army unit just north of Manila that moved into Manila. Okay, so, and let me put A's on all these forces that are taking part in this, and that's going to be that, and I can get rid of this extra A. Let's delete that. Okay, so there you have it. So now the Allies, who are playing a reaction card, by the way, but they still need, that's a reaction attack card. They still need to roll for intelligence. So we're going to roll 1 die. It's a 10-sided die. Okay, I have a 9 that's up there, but that was in a previous roll. I still have to roll, and whatever that die roll is, I'm going to take 2 away from it. Now, if you look at the card is an OC5. It's kind of hard to see, card 41. Can I make this bigger? Let's make it, I guess we can stay with that bigger resolution for this because we're just focusing on the Philippines right now. Move these cards in a little bit. All right, excellent, excellent. Everybody can see that. So it's an OC5 card, which means to say that in order for this not to be a surprise attack, the Allies have to roll 5 or less. Okay, and whatever their die roll is, they're going to have 2 taken away from it due to the fact that the Allied air in Manila spotted the assault force on its way. All right, so here comes the roll. Don't pay that 9 that's in any mind because I rolled that previously. Okay, here's like I said, it's a 10-sided die, and here we go with the roll. They roll a 3, so they're good. We've changed this this from the default of sneak attack to it is now intercept. Okay, so the Allies know that they're coming, and they're gonna use their forces to intercept whatever the hell intercept the whatever movement they can to to fight the Japanese up. So here's what we have. What we have is we have Southwest Pac is right here in this pile. Okay, and what are they going to do? What are the Allies going to do as to fight to intercept this attack? They don't really have any forces. I'm going to widen out one. Okay, now remember, they have to use the headquarters to activate some forces. What do they have? They're really surrounded by the forces of the Japanese Empire. I mean, it's pretty bad what they can do. They have do have a bomber down here, but that's just a suicide attack. What they will do is they're going to activate this 210 unit. Let me move in again. They're going to activate this 210 unit, and it's going to move into Manila. Okay, that's pretty big actually as far as this upcoming ground attack is concerned. So they move that 210 unit into Manila. Okay, so they've now got a strength of basically 30 on the ground there. They've got the 1010, which has 2 sides, and the 210 that is moved in there. So, and the Japanese don't have all that much as far as ground forces, they don't have all that much there. So let's get about the business of fighting this attack. So let's review. You've got naval and air forces from Japan there. You do have an air unit in Manila for the Allies. So we're going to fight an air-naval battle right off the bat here. So let me go to my air-naval page and the rules right over here. And it does have the what I need to roll. Okay, there's ground combat and then this one right here. Okay, here's air naval. So let's go over the die roll modifiers, okay? Is this an Allied ambush? Nope. Okay, is this a surprise attack by the Japanese? Nope. Is this a 1943 game turn? Nope. Is it a 44 or 45 game turn? Do we have any event modifiers on the EC card? Well, we didn't. It's not an EC card play, so we're not going that route. So this is going to be, looks like a straight up attack. Okay, so let's do this really slowly. What do the Allies have for air and naval forces in the area? Okay, for attack strength. For air and naval, the Allies have a 4 based on this this air unit. They have a strength of 4. They have no naval forces in the area because the one naval unit that they had was at Leyte, and they moved it out during the previous emergency naval move. Okay, so the only thing they have during air and naval is air, and that's a 4. That's pretty weak. Now, the Japanese, wow, they've gotten, the two cruisers they have in there are 22, okay, 22, and then the carriers are offering another 14, 22 and 14 is 36. And then they have an air unit, which is 22. So they've got 58 to 4. Is that what it is? 58 to 4? Wow. Oh, crazy. Okay. So anyways, I'm going to roll 2 dice. Okay, and the Americans, no, the Japanese are first. Okay, two dice, two rolls are going to appear up at the top, and the Japanese are always first. Okay, okay, so here comes the roll. I'm rolling two dice. Two dice 10. Okay, here we go. So it's a 3 and a 4, and the Japanese have the 3. So the Japanese 3 is one half of, what did they have, like 58? Excuse me. So if they had like, they've earned a one half, and it's like a 50, 58, it's like 25, and that easily kills their already flipped over 4-10-2. Okay, so let's pull him off. He had a defense strength of 10. I'm going to pull him down here under the cards. And they had like a 58, so that'd be like, what, 26, 29, whatever this. So that easily kills that 10. So that's going to Deadpool. All right, so he goes to the Deadpool. Now, the Americans had, the Allies had a 4, which is also one half. One half of 2 is nothing. It's not enough to kill anything because the lowest defense strength on there would have been a 10. Okay, so the Americans did not kill anything. So we've applied our hits, and the American Air Unit is dead. And now we're going to move on to ground combat. So that always comes next, ground combat. And now let's check out the modifiers. Now, see what we have. So ground combat, we have, first we need to find out we're in mixed terrain, okay? Let's toggle that. We're in mixed because we have, we're definitely not in mountain, and we're definitely not in jungle. So that's mixed terrain, and that's going to subtract 2 from the die roll. Okay, 2 from the attacker's die roll. The other, we have 2 other modifiers. And you know what? I don't know why they don't put them right here that you can see, but they're on one of these charts. Or actually, they're on one of the, I can bring the charts. I never seem to want to use these. Ground combat results table. So it's a -2 because the defender's in a mixed hex. Okay, that's cool. I get that. And then also, for the offensive player, if you get a +2 if the offensive player is the only one that has naval units in the battle hex. Okay, so that's a +2, and it's a +2 if only the offensive player has active air units and there are no reaction player air. So those +2 modifiers, you have a +2 for the offensive player, a +2 for the offensive player, and a -2 for the offensive player. So the net is going to be a +2 to the offensive player's roll. Okay. So a +2, and a -2 is a net of +2 to the offensive player's roll. And again, we're going to roll 2 dice, and the Japanese number is always the first number. Here we go. Let's roll a 2-die. So they roll a 3 and a 6. So the Japanese number gets modified to up 2 to a 5, but they would have been the same anyway because 3, 4, 5, or 6 is a 1 hit. Okay, so they've done with their unit. I'm just going to pull them both out here. Okay, let's pull all 3 of these ground units out. So the Japanese have done 3. They've done 18 points worth of damage to the Americans. Okay, and now the Japanese have a 6. They've done 1. They've done a 1 here. So now this is crazy. Now this is why this is good, because the Allies have done 12 points of damage to the Japanese. Now that's why moving that 2-10 over from here to here was critical, because if they just had the 10 there, they only would have done 10 points of damage, no effect. But because they had the other two, they're going to flip this Japanese unit, because see, it's 18 and his defense is a 12. So he's going to take he's going to flip them, okay, because they did 12 points of damage. Okay, if they didn't move that 2-10 over, it would have been no effect. So that's awesome. Now the Japanese did do 18 points of damage to the Americans, and basically they can't flip over this unit to be dead until this one is on his reduced side. So he's going to take a hit. So the Americans, they take a big hit, but hey, they knock the Japanese down. So we're going to put all these units back. And that's the results of your ground combat, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to move these A's off. Well, actually, yeah, that's it. So does everybody see what happened there as far as the the modifiers for the mixed terrain and then air and naval units? So it was a +2, but it didn't matter because it was they landed in the 3, 4, 5, or 6. Both of them did 1 hit to the other. 18 hits on the Americans and 12 hits on the Japanese, and the bottom line is they both had one. They both had one. They both took 1 hit. Now we got to conclude what is known as concluding ground combat. Let's go ahead and read this right here. So it says, and this is on C on page 23. Excuse me. If after all the hits are applied, only one side has ground units in the hex, that side is the winner. Not the case. Otherwise, the side that took the most step losses during ground combat retreats during PBM, post-battle movement. Okay, they both took 1 hit. Okay, if it is a tie, the reaction player wins and the offensive player retreats. Interesting. So what's going to happen here is the Americans carry the day. They get control of the hex, and it's the Japanese are forced to retreat. Okay, so that Japanese ground unit goes back to where it came from. The Americans hold Manila. Okay, let's bring this A out. Let's and now we're going to get rid of those 2 A's. We're going to do post-battle movement now, where you move the forces involved. The offensive player moves his forces wherever he'd like them to go. They do not have to go back where they came from. Okay, so that's cool. So let's move our forces that were involved. These 2 Japanese units that are north of Manila, that's where they came from. They don't have to go there, but they are going to remain where they are. We're going to put the air on top. We're going to deactivate both of them. All right. These 2 Japanese. Oh, by the way, hold on. We have yet to play the American reaction card. Whoa. Okay, let's read the card. The Japanese permanently lose 1 amphibious shipping point unless it's their last one. Well, la-dee-da. Let's go over here and drop their shipping down to ASP. Permanently it's going down to 6 right here. Okay, so they permanently lose 1 point. We're going to keep there may be something that says that. We're going to look for that later. I don't know. There may be some, but I will keep that in my brain. All right, so we move the ship that down to 1 from 7 to 6. Now, prior to battle, reduce either a Japanese CA. Okay, so my bad. I did this wrong. It was supposed to be prior to battle. A CA by 1 step, the allied player's choice, even if it is eliminated. During the Current offensive and active Japanese naval unit moves within the extended range. Okay, hold on. Let me read this again. Bonus, prior to battle, reduce either a Japanese CL, APD naval unit by 1 step, even if this limit, if during the current offensive of active Japanese CA naval unit moves within the extended range of a U.S. non-LRB air unit. Okay, well, did they move within the extended range of a U.S. non-LRB air unit? Indeed, they did. They moved right into the harbor, Manila, which did at the time have an American air unit. So one of these two guys is going to be reduced by 1 step. Now, it did say prior to battle. Let me say this. If you take away the 5 points or whatever this is going to be reduced to, they're going to reduce the 12-10, okay? They're going to go the higher of the two. So they're going to flip him. If you took the 5 points away from the 58, okay, that wouldn't have made any difference as far as the final odds. Okay, so that card has been played, and they do get get a strategy card. They draw 1 strategy card. We're gonna go played as an event. Okay, they did play it as an event. Okay, and we're going to get an American. They're going to draw 1 card. Oh, look at this card. They put the Japanese in the ISR. Oh, snap. Holy crapola, guys. They might be playing that really quick. But we do need to continue with the Japanese PBM post-battle movement. So these carriers, they're going to return to where they came from. All right. The Takao is going to go back up to Taiwan. Okay, the Nuachi or whatever the hell it is going back to Davao. The 2 carriers are going to go back to Davao. We're going to deactivate all these guys. Deactivate. All right, and we're going to deactivate the Takao. Okay, so everybody's returned to base. They didn't have to return to the bases that they came from, but in this case they did. So the bottom line of this Japanese attack is I would have to rate this as, by the way, this offensive is now concluded. We're going to take this card. We played it for operations, so that card is gone. So let's widen out 1 and review. So I'd have to call this operation not a success, a failure for the Japanese, for the simple reason that the Americans retain Manila, and during the ground combat the Japanese really did not inflict enough damage upon the American ground forces. Okay, they took out their air. That is true. They took a hit on one of their cruiser units because the Americans played a card, and they knocked the 10-10 down to a 5-10, and they got one of their own ground units reduced. So in the grand scheme of things, when you talk about the first what you expect from the Japanese in the first turn of the 42 campaign, very unsuccessful in my mind. Okay, so that concludes the Japanese offensive. So now the Americans, they get to for their turn, their turn here, they get to play a card, and boy oh boy, I think I know what card they're going to play. So go ahead, Americans, it's your turn. So here we go. Let me just do one thing before I move on. I want to put MacArthur's headquarters on top of this stack. I like to have the headquarters on top of all stacks, by the way. I'm going to hit File, Save Game. I don't want to lose it by some crazy... I don't want the power to go out or whatever. So we're saving that. So that was the Japanese first card play. And now the Americans or the Allies get to respond. And I think I know what they're going to do. They're going to play the card that they just obtained right here. Here it is. Let's play it. So they're playing this political card, and it's Japanese inter-service rivalry. Let's read the card. Flip the Japanese ISR rivalry marker from its strategic agreement to ISR. Oh boy. Okay. That's problematic. So we've done that, and they get to draw another strategy card. Draw one card. Oh, okay. That's a nice card. It plays supersedes the events Japanese even though the Japanese lose all some reward from affected for the remainder of the game. Draw one strategy card. Wow. Okay. New submarine doctrine. All right, so they've played that really quick and easy. They played the ISR card. Let's go, played as an event. So with the Americans in their turn, their card play, they've now thrown the Japanese into ISR. Lovely. Okay, so that first card play absolutely sucked for the Japanese. The Americans have won the day big time, and that is going to do it for the first card play of this opening turn here. And excuse me, I'm gonna go ahead and post it. Anybody got any issues with how we played it? I'd love to hear from you. You know, anything that's consequential, constructive criticism, throw it out there. That was a real simple offensive. Um, we did that because we wanted to knock out the Philippines. The Philippines still stands. They've lost their air power. That's going to be a problem for them. But hey, man, they have thrown the Japanese in the ISR. Oh, snap. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and upload it. I'm recording this on New Year's Eve. Everybody have a safe New Year's, or whenever you see this, be safe. And I'm out, and maybe we'll get another playthrough tomorrow for the second card in this opening turn. All right, well, I'm out. Everybody take it easy. Bye bye.